Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. The series of video about a question, Propleis company, exam December 22, topic acquisition merger, acquirer, Propleis company, an investment opportunity about to take over a target company, that's addicting company, industry, publication companies, publication magazines. Although the product line are different, Propleis here publish the magazines related to property, lifestyle, but they are going to acquire another company who deals with the product of the magazines that's about the sports magazines. And the strategy of the business also different. So with respect to Propleis, we are here to discuss, is this valuable to acquire the Decton? That is the theme of the question with respect to the acquirer. Now come on. Actually, this particular video, it's about the part B of the question. With the part A, we have done the calculation, and the part B, that is about discuss the assumptions made in the calculation in A. Assumptions. So whatever the calculation we have made based on this and these information. So we need examiner expecting to discuss assumption, but read the requirement carefully, including whether the expected synergies are likely to be achieved. So whatever the calculation we have made, here examiner expecting to make a discussion, demonstrate our ability to make a discussion about assumptions with the question, and also specifically the discussion about, is this possible, is there any likeness to generate the synergies or not with the case. So AFM exam, it's very application based. Although we need to recall the first important thing, the very standard assumptions, the standard knowledge about the assumptions based on the studies, on the past papers that you have done previously, a very standard assumptions for this type of question. Here the question, valuation with the free cash flow method, very standard assumptions. An examiner expect not just throw the knowledge of standard assumptions, but also connect the knowledge. Connect the case. That is called application of the knowledge. Okay, let's start. And don't ignore the likeness of the synergy. So number one, if we are going to start the question, so very important thing I must say here to highlight point in your mind that we will discuss here, assumptions and expected synergy. An examiner particular mentioned 6 marks, 6 technical marks plus some professional marks as well, professional skill marks as well. I can say 1 or 2 professional skill marks. Okay, first thing before starting the question, that you need to make a good plan. You need to make a good plan. So quick, number one, for planning, as we already discussed previously, time management, you must have to bear in your mind how much time you have. So for 6 technical marks, you need to multiply by 2.25 is equal to 14 minutes you have. And you need to invest 20% of the time to the planning. That's 14 multiplied by 0.2, that's 3 minutes. And 80% of your time you need to attempt. That's 14 into 0.8, that's 11 minutes. That's a point. Okay. So you have 20 minutes time. Invest your 20 minutes time for planning. So for planning, number one, we need to make a good plan. That's what to write. Let's plan marks management, what to write. So for this, initially, before attacking, you need to develop your mindset or make a good plan. What key points about the answer? I strongly suggest that you need to classify your answer in 2 parts. Number one, you have to mention the assumptions, and number 2, you need to mention the synergies. You need to straight assumptions here, that's about 3 to 4 marks, and same for here. So the point is that first thing, make a good plan about the assumption point. What the key points we have to develop? The first thing about the assumptions. Key points. I strongly suggest that whenever you are making a plan for any question, first of all, in your mind, must have to think or start thinking with the basic knowledge. The basic knowledge. With these type of question, where the valuation method by free cash flow, some standard assumptions are available or bear in your mind. The very standard assumptions. What are the standard assumptions here? For example, if I can mention that for example, assumptions about first 4 years, we have taken some assumptions about the sales growth. The sales growth of 2 to 4, that's 8%. 8%. Same for year 1 to 4. The post operating cash flows, it's 14% of sales revenue. These are the assumptions. Very basic assumptions. The tax rate, standard tax rate. Here we will use the cost of capital, straight 10%. What the logic behind this cost of capital, what the assumptions behind the cost of capital, what the working behind the cost of capital not available. So these are the very standard points. So one by one. Sales growth, 8%. Margins, operating profit margins, that's 14%. Yes, a very important and implied free cash flow based assumption here. That's a very basic, replacement asset investment, although it's not particularly mentioned, but it's implied here, equal to depreciation. That to maintain the business, to maintain the level of the business, some asset need to replace and that value equal to depreciation. So that means no adjustment here required for replacement and investment, because it's an implied assumption that whatever the accounting depreciation, it's the replacement asset investments are equal, both are equal. So these are implied assumption. That's why we haven't made any adjustment here for the calculation. Yes, and by the way, this implied assumption is about to maintain the business. Yes, for the growth side, that is question, we have made the adjustment, capital investment increments based on change in sales or increase in sales. Sales value. So these are the assumptions that we have made for first 4 years. But do remember, this is just a basic knowledge. This is not the application. So first, develop a mindset about the basic knowledge, just a knowledge. And what about the after 4 years, by the way? After 4 years? What about the after 4 years? Assumptions we have taken here. After 4 years, we have taken a growth rate of free cash flows that is 4%. That is 4%. And that's in terms of perpetuity. That is in terms of perpetuity. Moreover, the cost of capital. Cost of capital. And that's for three to 4 marks. This is more than enough. But you can add a point if you have enough time. Some cost ignore here and actually make some assumptions. For example, in case of combining two companies, so definitely some costs required. For example, IT, information technology, integration cost, HR cost, for example, redundancy. So these, we can say that assuming there are no costs here because no information available. So number one, the first very important thing is that these are the basic knowledge plan that you need to develop in your mindset. Yes, after this planning phase, and of course, the second one is the synergy point. But before discussion about the planning area of the synergy, um, I wanted to make a support to you people. Okay, this is, sir, what a plan. Either we need to make a plan with this scratch card, at this part, either this scratch pad either over there by planning, or with our own mind. Okay, these are the points. But once the plan has done and we are going to draft this question, so these details are enough. Same, these things are going to apply here? No. Examiner with AFM exam expecting that whatever you are writing, it's not only about just to write the knowledge, but also connect with the knowledge, connect with the case. For example, if you mention the sales matter here, sales growth, so you have to write in this manner: sales growth, it's doubtful, sales growth rate of 8%, it's doubtful, particularly for, it's a statement, particularly for marketing aspect related to Addicton company's title. If we mention that once we will take up the business, once the um, Propleis company will take up the addictant marketing strategy is not up to the mark. Number one, right now, okay, Propleis marketing strategy is good, but is is this really possible, or will it be happen accordingly that immediately the Propleis will be able to make a growth of 8% of the addictant company's title, where the previously their marketing efforts is not up to the mark. So this is what about sales growth is doubtful because of this reason. Because in this question, examiner particularly mentioned that the assumptions in the expected synergies likely to achieve. So here we are not just mentioning the assumption, but also mentioning is whatever the assumption we have made, is this likely to achieve? So something we are mentioning here with respect to critic, although it's about skepticism and commercial acumen both, but I will discuss this point later on this. Number two, profit margin. Profit margin, that is 14%. So you must have to say also have challenges, and this is based on integration progress of and may depend on volume of sales. Depend on volume of sales. So we have taken the assumption of the profit. You can mention that the incremental capex capital investment you have taken here, incremental capital investment, maybe this may be underestimated, maybe underestimate due to technological advancement like ChatGPT of online publishing. That is the point. So, sir, all we need to incorporate? No, it depends on the time over there. And number two, marks. But whatever you will write, you have to mention not only just through the knowledge, but also about the application of the knowledge. One more thing. The replacement asset investment, this one. Based on past strategy, you mentioned that replacement asset investment is equal to depreciation. This is based on past, but may be possible to require investment to maintain the existing business position. Due to the reason of inflation, due to the reason of maintenance of the technological aspects, are a lot of things. Sir, here realistically, if we are attempting this question in exam, how many out of this we need to mention? I strongly suggest at least 2 points for this first part, and in totality at least 3 assumptions you have to mention. Number 1, first 4 years. Number 2, after 4 years. Number 3, cost of capital. At least 3 with knowledge and application. Okay, what about the after 4 years growth rate, free cash to 4%? That's assumption. You can mention that this may be unrealistic, even though some of the magazines, here we mentioned that the growth will perpetuate the straight 4 years. May be possible that some of the product existence, here the business of the magazines have a long history. Okay, we convince that they have a long history, but not realistic for infinite future. For example, the sports hero, the sports icon. How can we say that any of the sports icon maintain the position for infinite time? That's a point. Okay. Moreover, about the cost of capital. About the cost of capital, you can mention that for the cost of capital, no, you can mention that no indication is given about the reason for this, for the choice. No indication. And here we assume that no change in the financial risk, financial and business risk. Financial means no change in the capital structure. Which requires confirmation before making any final decision. So this is how you need to plan, and I have also provided whenever you are executing. So you need to connect the assumption matters with this application with the case, and you can do that. You can do that. You just practicing the question with this suggestions, and I strongly suggest the practice is not about the quantity of questions you have attempted and you are going to attempt. The important thing is that how much question you are going to attempt with the CB format, with the qualitative aspects, applying these advices. And this is whatever I am providing you the suggest, it's based on whatever we have learned from the examiner reports, with the examiner or examining team or the ACCA, different tutors platform trainings, all based on these things. So that's very valuable for you. Now, What about the second part? Yes, this one, the synergy. What about the second part? With this same and for the synergy. Now come on, with the synergy point. So I strongly suggest that you must, I strongly suggest, first of all, you have to make, once again, read the question, discuss the assumption made in calculation, including expected synergy, likely to be achieved. Likely to be achieved. So here we need to cover the point that here with this case, how critically need to assess that synergy is going to achieve or not. That's the point. So that is the point. So I strongly suggest that need a short break till now, and with the next video I will cover this second part of the scenario, the synergy matters. Thank you.